A Q&A. Questions you have, answers we have. We're going to answer them, you're going to ask them. All this is recorded live on this YouTube channel, and you can find it in the description down below. First question comes from Emma Thompson. Is cereal soup?
Before you even answer the question, how do you define soup?
Soup, a liquid dish typically made by boiling meat, fish, or vegetables in stock water, or a substance or mixture perceived to resemble soup in appearance or consistency.
Based on that, based on the #1 definition from Oxford, cereal is not soup. If we look at cereal and we think about the fact that Oxford says you typically boil fish, vegetables, and meat to make a soup, cereal is not a soup. However, Oxford goes a little bit further, says that if it resembles a soup, then it's a soup.
Worm core, I think it depends if you want to reduce soup to its lowest form. I think at that point, it would be a liquid, which would just be milk.
Now, I can agree with worm core, but now we got to think about cold soup.
I'm not a cold soup person.
I understand, but maybe you're just not a soup connoisseur.
I'm not the Gordon Ramsay of soups. I'm the Gordon Ramsay of omelets.
Very true.
I like 4 or 5 eggs.
My butter is burning, Gordon.
If you're a connoisseur of soups, there are cold soups and there are hot cereals.
There is.
See how
oatmeal.
that works? Oatmeal.
Would you eat a soup in the beginning of the day? Imagine like waking up and you're like, man, you know what sounds good at 9 a.m.?
Donuts.
Tomato soup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say cereal is not soup.
By Lauren Bailey. What is your worst memory?
I'll let you go ahead and start.
I did just tell the story of whenever Nick knocked me out with the lightsaber. I think my worst memory is what happened on November 1st, 2022.
You know, when I got my concussion.
Wait,
that
you
was
had a
pretty
concussion?
bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, not only did I have a concussion, I had a moderate concussion according to the hospital. Yes, I had to go to the hospital. I was playing soccer. It was my freshman year of college. The coach was not there.
Okay.
So the players were running the practice. Yes, this was at practice.
That's a good idea.
And it was just my teammates there. We get to a point where we're going to go ahead and stop playing for a little bit. And we're going to kind of get together and talk about practice and how things are going. We stop play, but the goalie kicks the ball. It's coming out, and you can imagine the goalie kicking the ball high up in the air. And me and another teammate go ahead and we're going to jump up, try to win the ball, right? Because that's what you do in soccer. It's kind of a natural instinct. I jump up, and I remember jumping in the air, and then I remember somebody hitting me just above my knee with their shoulder as my feet began to start going over the top of my head. The last thing I remember is going to the ground and my head hitting the ground first. I was told, because I do not remember, that my head hit the ground so hard it bounced up off the ground and my feet actually hit the ground before my head hit again. The next thing I actually remember is that I was laying on my side on the side of the field and they were already playing again. And I started to leave, walking to my car, of course. And everybody stopped me and they were going, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And I remember saying, "I'm going home because you won't let me play." They said no. But that is probably my worst memory.
My soccer story. I could tell that.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I think the last time that I ever played soccer and we were at a training, me and Alex, my older brother, were paired up against each other to attempt to steal the ball from each other or like keep it away from each other and stuff like that. My older brother trips me. I land on the ground, bounce up over a foot off of my chest, landed back down, bounced up a little bit, and then landed back down again. So that's 2 bounces just from falling on the ground. Wind knocked out of me, everything like that. Felt like my ribs cracked. I do have lung issues. That might be it. But I've had lung issues since I was born. So I could die any day now. But yeah, that's probably the worst soccer experience that I ever had. And every single game I got stepped on with the cleats. And I was a little baby, so I cried. So yeah.
Nothing feels better than getting stepped on with cleats. I can understand why you don't like soccer so much.
Yeah, soccer's not my favorite sport. That and I was forced to play it. How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 43.
I'm 19, gonna be 20 this year. This person, I think, asked me, what was your job before YouTube? I worked at their business. I was the general manager for like 2 years, and I worked there for like 3 or 4.
Officially worked there.
Officially worked there. I worked there without pay against the law for a while. So
not against the law, but yeah.
And then I worked at Starbucks and quit there. Met a few people. None of them I talk to anymore. So That's fun. Really depressing time. And now I'm here and we're going to open up another business at some point where I'm going to be the head bartender and owner. Actually, technically, we're already owners of it because it's made. So that was my job before YouTube. What was your job before YouTube?
Well, since I don't really do YouTube except when I'm invited on so graciously, I actually am a project manager for a mechanical and plumbing company. I've been doing that for 19 years now to this day.
There you go.
Now, before that, I worked in a movie theater, part of the ticket sales. I worked behind the concession booth. That was
Awesome.
really the first job, and moved up into working in the projection room. Now, when I did it, it was literally still film.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when it came in, it was actually
That's even
in
more
rolls
fun.
of film, and we had to literally splice them together, which is why they always did a midnight showing. I don't think they use film anymore.
I've always wondered that.
It would be
but
interesting, wouldn't it?
I think there was one movie theater that I saw on, I think it was on like a TikTok or something. They just got onto like Netflix or something and picked a movie.
I really think that would be really interesting to know for somebody who works in the movie theater industry now. How do the movies actually get on the screen? When I did it, it was literally rolls of film.
Yeah.
So when it came in, it would come in like 6 different cases, and the reels would be about this big. And ultimately, for a 2-hour movie, the reels are about this big, and it's on a big tray.
And you got to switch them out in time to.
You had to splice it all
everything.
together, and if the splice ever broke, the film went down, and you had to repair it instantly. So. But I will tell you, the projection booth was a lot of fun. We had Pac-Man up there, literally the video game.
Oh, okay.
Because you had to stay in the booth. Because if anything happened with the film, you had to be able to go ahead and fix it. While I was in training, I was responsible, obviously, for the film. And during the film, the guy went ahead and took scissors and cut the film.
Oh.
To simulate a break in the film. I wasn't actually up in the booth at that time. I was downstairs talking with my friends in the concessionary and all that kind of stuff because all the films were already going. You wonder why movie theaters have different time slots for the movies? It was because when you started the film, you had to feed it through the projector and everything to put it up there. And so you couldn't have them all start at the same time because you had to feed everything and then start the film. And once it was okay, then you could go to the next one. So that's why they have these different time frames.
You handled more than one booth?
All of them.
Oh.
So we had, now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you have movie theaters now that are 20 theaters maybe. We had maybe 10, 12 on the big theater, but you also had to do a lot more labor in between. The awesome thing was, once all the films were going in that 30 to 40 minute stretch, you had about an hour and a half to do nothing. But I did that in high school. And then, of course, I was a golf pro for a while.
Next question. What state do we live in?
The United States.
Exactly. What is your favorite console? Gaming console, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Or the center console of your truck. I don't really have a favorite. If we're going for controller, it's going to be a PS4. That's just the controller that I've used for a few years, and that's what I'm comfortable with. I use my computer for pretty much everything. I have a PS4 and I have 2 Nintendo Switches, a 2DS. I think that's all. And then we have a few Xboxes that we've gotten for several rooms just as DVD players. It's the most expensive DVD player you could ever buy.
It works.
But it works.
What can I say?
And we know how to use them.
And so following up on that, I would probably have to say Xbox, because Xbox is the one I've played the most due to Nick, who is the youngest of the 3. He plays Xbox more than anything, and he's the only one that ever invites me to play.
If you did enjoy that Q&A, there is another video right here. We also did. It was me and my dad and my little brother. It was the blind, deaf, and mute. It's a really funny video. I definitely recommend that you go watch it, and bye for now.